I never imagined my wedding day would become the worst day of my life, but looking back now, I realize the signs were always there. I just chose to ignore them. My name is Daniel, I'm 36 years old, and for a long time I believed loyalty was something you earned by being patient, understanding, and forgiving. I was wrong. I met my wife, well, my almost wife, Claire 6 years ago. She was charming in a way that pulled people in effortlessly. The kind of woman who laughed loud, spoke confidently, and made you feel lucky just to be chosen by her. I was quieter, more reserved. People used to joke that she was the fire and I was the anchor. At the time I thought that balance was love. My best man, Ryan, had been my closest friend since college. We'd been through everything together: breakups, job losses, family deaths. If there was one person I trusted without question, it was him. He stood next to me when I proposed to Claire, toasted us at our engagement party, and constantly reminded me how lucky I was to be marrying her. The months leading up to the wedding were stressful but exciting. Claire became distant in small, subtle ways. More phone privacy. More girls' nights. More comments about how nervous she was about marriage, how she felt like everything was changing too fast. I chalked it up to cold feet. Everyone told me it was normal. The night before the wedding, we stayed at separate hotels, like tradition demanded. Ryan stayed with me along with a few other friends. Claire was supposedly with her bridesmaids across town. We exchanged a few texts. She said she was exhausted, that she loved me, that she couldn't wait to marry me tomorrow. I believed her. That morning I woke up early, my stomach tight with nerves and excitement. I checked my phone. No new messages from Claire. That was unusual, but I brushed it off. Ryan joked around, trying to lighten the mood, but something about him felt off. He avoided eye contact. He was quieter than usual. About 3 hours before the ceremony, my phone buzzed. It wasn't Claire. It was an unknown number. At first I ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. Finally I stepped away and answered. What I heard on the other end shattered something inside me that I didn't even know could break. It was one of Claire's bridesmaids. Her voice was shaking. She didn't know how to say it, kept apologizing before she even started. Then the words came out in a rush. Claire hadn't slept at the hotel. She'd disappeared after the rehearsal dinner. And that morning she'd confessed, crying, frantic, that she'd slept with Ryan just a few hours earlier. I laughed. Actually laughed. I told her she had the wrong person, that this was some sick joke. She didn't laugh back. She sent proof. Messages. Photos. Timestamps. There it was. Claire and Ryan. In a hotel room. The same hotel I was standing in. My hands started shaking so badly I had to sit down. Everything felt distant, like I was watching my own life fall apart from behind glass. I didn't confront anyone. Not yet. I needed to see it with my own eyes. I went downstairs. The lobby was busy with guests arriving. Florists adjusting arrangements. My parents smiling nervously. And there was Ryan, standing near the bar, laughing with one of the groomsmen like nothing in the world was wrong. He saw me and smiled. Clapped me on the shoulder. Big day, huh? In that moment, something inside me went quiet. The anger didn't explode. It focused. I realized then that if I confronted them, I'd get excuses. Tears. Apologies. Claims that it didn't mean anything. And everyone would expect me to react emotionally. To forgive. To be the bigger man. Instead, I smiled back. I told Ryan I needed some air. He nodded, relieved, not knowing why. I walked outside, took a deep breath, and made a decision that would change everything. I wasn't going to cancel the wedding. At least not yet. I went back upstairs and started making phone calls. Quiet ones. Calculated ones. I spoke to the wedding planner, the venue manager, even the DJ. I didn't tell them everything, just enough to set things in motion. I asked for a microphone check later. Asked for a slight adjustment to the timeline. I told them I wanted to add something personal before the vows. No one questioned it. Why would they? I was the groom. Then I went to see Claire. She was in the bridal suite, surrounded by dresses and flowers, her makeup half done. When she saw me, her face drained of color. She stood up too fast, knocking over a chair. "Daniel," she whispered. I looked at her carefully. At the woman I thought I knew. At the woman who was about to walk down the aisle in a white dress. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I didn't even mention Ryan's name. I just said, "Are you ready?" Tears filled her eyes. She shook her head. Her lips trembled like she wanted to confess everything right there. I could see the guilt crawling all over her face. And still I smiled. "Don't worry," I said calmly. "Everything's going to happen exactly the way it's supposed to." She nodded, clearly confused, clearly terrified. She probably thought I was in denial. That I didn't know yet. But I knew. And as I walked out of that room, listening to the soft sounds of wedding music starting to play downstairs, I understood something with absolute clarity. They thought they had betrayed me in secret. They had no idea what was coming next,